Welcome to Destination Deanna. I'm Deanna, love guide to all and kept wife strategist to the women I'm called to serve. Please consider my channel your self-help learning library for love. Join me every Monday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time for our weekly coaching gem, where I give guidance to elevate your love experience. And on Wednesdays at 1 p.m., tune in for Sounds About Wife, where I give my unique wife perspective and prepare professional women like you to become kept wives. So hit that subscribe button and let's start this love journey together. See you soon, my loves. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are here for episode 5 of Sounds About Wife. And this episode is affectionately titled Feminine Currency in Marriage. What does that mean? Well, we're going to discuss how affection and appreciation keep you kept. For those who may be new to my channel, I'm Deanna, the kept wife strategist. Love guide to all, but the kept wife strategist to the women that I'm called to serve. Do you want to become a Keptie? I'm assuming you do because you're here. So yes, feminine currency in marriage. Hey, Alice, one of my Kepties checking in. So listen, every week on Sounds About Wife, I will be sharing the mindset of a kept wife and the strategies that will get and keep you kept. So for today, I'm going to start off with my treasure. So that's me giving you my personal kind of story experience with today's topic, so you know why I'm passionate about it and also why I'm qualified to talk about it. So a few years back, when I was deciding to get out of my not fruitful first marriage, and I had kind of went on a journey of self-discovery, really improving myself. Maybe a year in, I developed a list. I said, if I was ever to get married again, this man would have to have these qualities. He would have to want to do these things, all of that. And I came up with my list. And one of the things that I wrote on that list was, he pays all the bills happily, and he doesn't expect me to. My specificity, is that a word? I don't know. It sounds good. My specificity here means something, right? I've always, kind of had provider men. That wasn't really the issue. I mean, I've just attracted that naturally. But like many other women, I have experienced money equating to like controlling behavior or a loss of voice in a relationship. So this time in particular, I wanted it to be a standard for this man that he provide. And I knew if I said happily, that it wouldn't be a burden and it would be his choice. So after I made my list about the man, right, I shifted my thinking to, now what would this man want in a wife? What would this man value? He already has money, so he doesn't need that. What does he need, right? So I began to observe and look at well-to-do men, famous ones, not so famous ones, all of that. I just began to kind of study, and I would study their wives. I would study how they would talk about their wives. I would study what their wives would do. And one thing that I noticed was these men were never praising their wife for what she was doing. They were never praising her for her degrees, her accolades, her businesses, or anything like that. They were always talking about how she made him feel, right? How she appreciated him. how inspired he was by her. And I also noticed the wives' behaviors. They would always be speaking very highly of their husbands. They would always be subtly touching them. You could just observe their presence and how it uplifted their husband, right? So when I narrowed down, like, well, what are they bringing? What is it? It literally was their appreciation for their husband and the affection. So that's kind of where I got the feminine currency. I'm like, oh, this is after observing, after putting it into practice, right? So in my own marriage today, like with my keeper husband, Will, and I'm sure I haven't even said hi to everyone else. Hey, Ashley, another one of my Kepties, and here we go, my baby, my keeper husband. Hi, honey. Thank you so much for being here. Dawn, my VIP Keptie. Come on. Yes, I love that you did research, girl. Yes, because I gotta know. I gotta know it works, right? I'm an observer. And that's one of the things I'm always teaching is watch, be a student, right? Learn. So I observe, like in my own marriage today, consistently showing affection and appreciation, it not only strengthens our marriage and our bond together, but it also motivates my husband to pour into me more. So if we're talking about keeper husbands, we already know that provision, like that's the standard, right? That's the ground floor. Okay, we already know that. But if we're talking about a keeper, he is not only providing financial means, but he's providing emotionally, physically, mentally, all of that. He's providing security. So whether it's like big surprises or him being more emotionally available, giving compliments, these gestures from my husband are directly tied to him feeling valued and seen by me, right? My affection and my appreciation increases his desire to continue being a keeper. And he's in the chat. Honey, feel free to bask about that. So why is this lesson important, right? Why is this lesson important? I'll tell you that. Well, it's important because a keeper feels genuinely appreciated and receives regular affection from his wife. When he does this, it ignites his natural desires to provide and protect on a deeper level. So this is how you get into a marriage where it's not stagnant. It's constantly growing and building. There's always more. Affection makes him feel closer, right? While appreciation is going to fuel his motivation to keep investing emotionally, spiritually, and material in his kept wife, right? So the two main things, right? The core lesson of today, I've told you why it matters. I'm going to give you two really good points. If you're going to take notes, now is the time where it's kind of noteworthy, okay? Oh, and Marissa's here too. All my Kepties, okay. Oh, hey, baby. Don't get me to smiling. So, the number one point today. Affection unlocks emotional provision. Okay? So, we already know that keepers love to financially provide. It's part of what they do. They already know that a part of them being a husband is to provide, right? But they also want emotional intimacy and connection. And regular, like non-sexual touch, affectionate gestures that signal to your husband that he's loved in more ways than financial provision. That's why this is so important. Of course, we appreciate that, but we don't want him to feel reduced to that. We want him to know that we appreciate him holistically, right? And in doing so, with the affection, it makes him more excited to continue creating this environment where you can thrive and be kept. Okay. And I have a scripture for this, right? In the Song of Solomon, 1 and 2, NIV version. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for your love is more delightful than wine. That means affection is going to draw you closer as a couple, right? It makes your keeper want to keep securing you in all areas of life, right? And bonus, because I'm talking to wives, right? There's no singles here on Sounds About Wife. We're all wives. You may not be someone's wife yet, but you're a wife already, right? So since I'm talking to wives, I'm going to get into it and just say, initiating sex, this is the bonus. That's like an affection multiplier, right? What better way to let your husband know that you appreciate him and you want to show him affection than when you initiate sex? I know you don't hear me talk about us women initiating much, but that's in dating. That's when we're talking about engagement. This is your man now. You are married. He is committed to you. And let me tell you, what a boost it will be to his ego, how appreciated he will feel when you initiate lovemaking with him. That is the multiplier of affection, okay? Okay, hold on. Let me put my honey up there. In my case, I never told her that I was looking for any of those things. Then it started showing up in her. Then it became a part of our becoming and being. I didn't have to say any of it up front. Yeah, that's because listen, I studied. I studied to show myself approved. Okay? I deserve this life because I studied, I adjusted, I found out who I needed to be in order to have the life I want. And that's what I'm teaching you all. I'm teaching you all how to become what you want so you can have what you want. Come on with the multiplier talk. So on point. I know. I wasn't going to leave that out, baby. So that was the first point. The first point is affection unlocks emotional provision. So for you women who may have had the fear of a man providing fully for you and the loss of control and how he may not come with emotional stability and support, this is what unlocks it. Your affection unlocks emotional provision. Okay. So number two is appreciation encourages his leadership. I did not say creates, because we are talking about keepers. That means he's already a leader. Okay, let's be very clear here. I said it encourages his leadership. When you consistently show appreciation, it reinforces your husband's role as the leader and provider in the relationship. Acknowledging the small and big things he does increases his desire to take on even more leadership and provision. And this just came to me. It's not even a part of my notes. I have heard, quite a few women say things like, well, what if I don't like the way he's leading? First of all, I have a full lesson about how to follow a man's lead. It is in my Find Your Feminine course, and that one lesson alone is worth the cost of the course. Let me just tell you that. It is the lesson that keeps on giving, okay? But you have to be able to pour into his leadership. If you are constantly criticizing it, if you're constantly saying you can do it better, pointing out different things, you are not encouraging him to lead. You are discouraging him. And the more you take over, the more hands off a man will be. Okay, you got it. And you don't want that. You want him to be uplifted. You want him to be encouraged in his leadership, So even in making a mistake, you know what, baby? I know you gave that your best effort, and we'll get it next time. Don't worry about it. I'm telling you, I probably have done more for my husband in our mistakes than I have in when we got everything perfectly right. I'm sure letting him know that I'm a soft place to land. This is life. We will figure it out together. Making a mistake does not mean you're not a good leader, okay? It takes courage to get out there and make decisions confidently. And he's going to be even more confident in his leadership when he knows you support him. That was a whole nother thing, but I just felt that. I felt that I needed to say that. So here's a scripture for that. Proverbs 18:22. He who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord. Your appreciation for your husband gives him that sense of favor. Okay, motivating him and continuing to find ways to make you feel cared for. That's what's going to happen when he feels that you support him and he feels your appreciation for his leadership. Yeah, it's so helpful to have the male perspective. It really does help. And because I know some of you need statistics, right? You don't want to just hear what I'm saying, even though I be right. Let me give you the statistics, though. A study conducted by the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that 80%, so that's majority, okay, of men who feel appreciated by their partners are more likely to increase their efforts in caring for them. 80% of men who feel appreciated by their partners are more likely to increase their efforts in caring for them. So what does that mean for us? That means keepers will put in the extra work and effort when they know their provision, protection, and leadership are recognized and valued. So yet again, like this is the masculine, the feminine, how we need each other, right? We want him to show up providing and leading, right? And what they need in order to be the best at that is us appreciating and showing affection. It goes hand in hand, right? So another scripture for you, Proverbs 31:10 and 12, NIV version. A wife of noble character, she brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. So a wife who honors and appreciates her husband strengthens her marriage. We have so much power, ladies, but it is not in the doing. It is not in trying to do the same thing that he's doing. Our power is in our being. It is in how we show up in support of him becoming the best him. And guess what? In us doing this, we become the best us. The more I support my husband, the more he pours into me, the better of a woman I become. So it's just a positive cycle. So that's the lesson. I'm glad, Ashley. I'm glad. So that's the lesson, right? The two things to keep in mind. Affection unlocks emotional provision. And the bonus to that, as wives, initiating sex is the affection multiplier. Yes, the marital bed is undefiled, okay? And number two, appreciation encourages his leadership. So, what's the Keptie lens? All right, I'm always going to give you the lens of a Keptie. This is what you want to embody. The world is not going to give it to you. You're not going to look around and see a bunch of coaches saying to do this. You're not going to see a bunch of women doing this because guess what? Not a lot of women live like this. I'm going to be honest. That's why we call them commoners. The commoners live that way. We're doing uncommon things here because we want uncommon results. Okay? So the Keptie lens is our mindset and perspective shift. So listen, as a kept wife, affection and appreciation go beyond just making your husband feel good, right? That's what the commoners will tell you it is. They'll tell you you're appeasing his ego and I'm not doing all that. Okay. It's not just that. Affection and appreciation increase his excitement and motivation to provide for you on all levels. That means he's not begrudgingly doing anything. It's a joy. It's an honor to provide for you and to take care of you. He doesn't just want to pay the bills. He wants to offer more emotional security, take you on more vacations, and pour into your dreams because he feels respected and appreciated. This is our lens, okay? This is the Keptie lens. And by leaning into your feminine currency, you're not just receiving provision, okay? You are encouraging him to deepen his commitment to your emotional, spiritual, and even physical well-being. He'll want to keep you because you make him feel valued in ways no one else does. Okay? So that's our lens. And here, because I'm a journaler and because I want you all to get into the practice of considering this lesson for yourself, looking at yourself and being accountable for the self that you are now and what things can adjust, what things can improve so that you can become. And before I do this, this is the reflections and the journal parts, but I see some comments, so let me go ahead and get to those. Oh, good teaching. Thank you, baby. Oh, I think that's Carly, right? Hey, Carly. My baby said that's a fact, even if he got it wrong. Oh, so this is the point I was making about encouraging his leadership, right? Even if he got it wrong, telling him you appreciate and support his efforts yields that level of response instead of, oh, you should have done it like I said or when I said. And ladies, we be quick to do that, don't we? So quick. Thank you, honey. Yes, Carly. You already know we are not commoners, so that's why we have a new lens. Ashley, yes. Yep. Yep, it's Carly. Hey, hon. So here's the consideration, right? Here's what I want you to consider. And you can write these things down so that you can either reflect on them when you're meditating or you can journal them. Okay. Number one, and this is for my current Keptie wives, or if you are not currently someone's wife, but you are a wife, think about how you're going to do this, right? Think about how you're going to do this. So do I intentionally show my husband that I appreciate his role as a keeper? And how often do I do it? So put yourself in the future. Put yourself with your keeper husband and think about this. How might this encourage him to pour into me more? So think about, what are you getting from him by doing this? Number two, how can I increase my displays of affection to make my husband feel even more connected and excited to continue providing for me emotionally and physically? Again, project yourself into the future and journal this out. Number three, what actions of mine have made my husband light up with pride and excitement in the past? How can I continue to do these things consistently, knowing they fuel his desire to keep me in every sense? Okay? That's what I want you to consider. We supposed to see the honey-do list as just that. Honey, I'll do anything for you. Come on. Come on, baby. My baby ain't told me no ever. Ever. He's never told me no. Maybe later, not right now. Or that's too small, honey. Got something bigger. Right? That's the energy we want. So, obviously, I'm always going to leave you with the strategy because I'm the kept wife strategist, right? So, true to my name, what is the strategy? The strategy is the practical tips for you to put this lesson to work in your life immediately. All right. So, I'm going to give you specific things for my already marrieds and for my not yet marrieds, my desiring marriage. Okay. So I have two things for each of you. For my already marrieds, okay, make appreciation a daily habit. Every day, thank your husband for something. What you appreciate appreciates. That means whatever you appreciate, you're going to get more of, right? So whether it's his hard work at his job, his love for his family, ways that he's relieved stress from you, how he's taken on household tasks, let him know that he's seen and valued, right? This will make him want to step into his role as keeper with even more excitement. So for those ladies, and I will address this, for those ladies that watch me that are already married and maybe your husband isn't in his full keeper embodiment, right? He's not there. You can still be encouraged because if you show up as a Keptie, he's going to adjust. He's going to adjust. It may not be overnight, may not be tomorrow, but if you show up and just have your mind set on you showing up that way, not I'm going to show up this way so he'll change, not I'm going to do this so he'll do that. No, but show up with appreciation and affection because that's what you should do as a wife. That is what you should do. And maybe that might be what's missing. Okay. Now, for my already married, still the second thing, non-sexual affection, right? Add intentional touching. So when he's working or relaxing, just without provocation, give him a touch, rub his head, sneak in those kisses, like do this frequently. The more you touch, the more you're going to be connected. So even something as small as like resting your head on his shoulder during dinner makes him feel more connected, right? And it boosts his excitement. So the non-sexual thing. Already married, I'm not even playing with y'all. Get to the initiating, okay? The men is talking. They're saying, I don't like the rhetoric from the men that, marriage is like the dry spell where sex lives go to die. Not with Kepties. What are you talking about? No, we're happy. We're happy to be fruitful. Okay, we are happy. Like you're married now, you should be exploring sex in a different, like in the most abundant of ways. Don't be one of those women that was out hearing, but then you get married and you lose that. No, be encouraged. If you're already married, start initiating. That is a great way to multiply the affection in your marriage. Okay. Now, for those desiring marriage, okay, my aspiring wives, okay, practice verbal appreciation. Now, whether this is in friendships, family, I like for you to practice with men as well, for you to get comfortable. Now, this is don't be out here being fast. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about non-sexual appreciation for a job well done, for something you notice. Okay? So it sets you up for creating an environment where in your future, words of appreciation, words of affirmation are already flowing. You're in the practice of noticing things to appreciate, right? And also learn to give affection freely. Okay? If you're dating or in relationships, practice making affection a natural part of your interaction. I'm not talking about sex. If you choose to do that, cool. I'm not going to judge you for it, but I'm always going to encourage you down the path that's going to get you to kept quicker. Okay? Quicker. Okay? That's what we want. So, affection is a gift. Remember that. It's a gift. Anytime you're touching someone, you're kissing them, that's a gift of connection, right? And a man who is shown affection regularly is more motivated to go deeper in providing. That's it. It's clear cut. It's clear cut. You will see me rubbing my husband's arm, back of his neck, holding his hand. I'm always on him. What you talking about? Always. I'm looking for ways to when it don't even make sense. Learn to give affection. Okay. Learn to give affection. Okay, that's what I'll say. And now I'm just gonna open it up for the Keptie chat. Okay. Here's where you guys can make your comments and ask your questions. Do you have anything to add to the conversation or any questions? Anything you want me to clarify? Anything you want me to help you put into practice? Let me get caught up on these comments. He can get there. You show up as a Keptie. It is inevitable. Now, this is my husband saying this, right? Love is the one true liberator of the human spirit. So all is not lost, right? All is not lost. Ooh, I got a PhD in that. Come on now. I ain't even have to go to school. I'm self-taught. Oh, Natalie, you made it. Oh, Natalie, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much. Thank you. This one was a good one. I'm passionate about this. Y'all like my earrings? They're my birthday gift to myself. To myself. I'm gonna ask my honey for reimbursement though, but I got them. I got them myself. Do you all have any comments or questions? If not, I'm gonna get. Yeah, we doing earrings. Thank you. You know, I love my earrings. Yeah. All right. Listen, when y'all don't got no questions, I'd be like, "Ooh, I was teaching that thing. I taught that well." So I'll just leave you Ooh. honey. Putting hands down in the best ways. Natalie, I love the advice for the already marrieds. Yes, I gotta encourage. I know being a wife, man, it's a calling, it's a ministry. And I know it's not always the smiles. I know everything is not always like roses and candy, right? We're talking about lifetimes. That means you're going to experience people in all seasons. In every season, winter, things are barren, it's cold. There's all seasons in marriage. So I definitely want to encourage my wives that are already in the struggle. Well, we're not going to say struggle because we don't do struggle, but they're already in winter seasons. Okay? Winter seasons of marriage. All's not lost. All's not lost. My recommendation is to focus on self. That's actually what I did, right? I didn't just, oh, my husband ain't it, and I left. No, I took a good year and some change and just focused on being a better wife. and being an amazing woman. And in doing so, after him not changing, that is when God released me. Okay. So that's what I recommend. I am a advocate of marriage, but I'm also an advocate of marriage is supposed to be healthy. It is supposed to produce fruit. If that's not happening and God's not involved, I believe you can leave. Yes, making them feel more appreciated and excited about taking good care of me. Yep. You encourage what you want. You encourage what you want. Yeah, Will's on it today. I know, baby. It's been so busy. I can't wait to catch up with you and tell you about my nap. You said it right the first time. Well, I try not to say, struggle and hard language. That's why this is good. Just soaking it in so I can apply it. Absolutely. All my Kepties is here. They don't play. They do not play. All right. So let me just close it out for you all. Give you just a little summary, right? In closing, right? Remember that affection and appreciation is what fuel a keeper's excitement to keep providing. And if he's not providing, it encourages the right behavior, right? Not just financially either, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. The things that I've mentioned today are to help you cultivate a marriage where your husband is motivated and continues elevating, because that's what we want, right? That is what we want. So, I mean, y'all see the tea. Listen, if you are one of my clients, you get a Keptie tea. Not this one. There's another one for my Kepties. But this is the universal Keptie tea. It can only come from me. It is blessed by me. It is handmade, not by me, but by my best friend. So listen, from the purchase of the shirt to the Keptie being put on it, to my logo inside of it, to me praying over it before it gets to you, it is a unique, one of a kind, right? It's not just the tea. It is a statement. It is a statement of your being. And if you want one, there is a limited edition available. It's only going to be available for a short amount of time. Go to my website, destinationdiana.com, and get your Keptie tea. If you know you are a part of this community and you want to keep it kept, get you a tea, right? And if you're ready to work with me, I just make the invitation. I'm not here to sell anybody on anything I'm doing. I'm living my kept life. If you want to live yours, I encourage you to look at my Keptie curriculum, right? And see where you can start your journey to captivity. All right. So, that was it. That was the message. I love you all for being here. I totally appreciate you. And I'll leave you with this. Kept wives are prepared women, and prepared women have strategy. And if you want the winning strategy, you come to the Kept Wife Strategist. I'll see you next week on the next episode of Sounds About Wife. Bye.